Okay, so welcome back to once again another episode of the Fortnite Mythbusters. In today's episode, we actually do some myths regarding the orb literally sitting in the middle of Loot Lake, about to explode. I mean, what's gonna happen to that? I don't know. As well as some stuff that includes this awesome new sniper, which was recently added into the game, called the Storm Tracker Sniper Rifle, or I don't know, something like that. Before we begin today's video, if you do have a myth you would like me to test in the next or future episodes of the Fortnite Mythbusters, make sure to go down into the comments down below right now and drop a comment of a unique myth for a pretty good chance to be featured. Also guys, for all of the hype around season 10 literally being in a couple days, let's see if we could smash 25,000 likes on today's episode. That would be insane and it would make me extremely happy. Also, if you guys are new to my channel and you do enjoy today's episode of the Fortnite Mythbusters and you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe and turn on post notifications to never miss another episode. Anyways guys, without further ado, let's hop right on in to today's video. Going straight into the first myth is, what happens when you throw an airstrike at the orb? Over the past couple of days, the orb at Loot Lake, I mean, it's soon to explode, or it's doing something crazy right now. I mean, it looks nothing like it did just about a couple days ago. Now, even though the orb is making all of this weird effects or whatever, I was still able to go into creative mode and fly above the orb and throw an airstrike. That way, it literally stops on top of it and the airstrike will hit it directly. And sadly, nothing really happens. Since I was already testing all of this out, I decided to see what happens when I throw an airstrike into the hole, or also known as like the vault underneath the orb, and it literally disappears into the void. I mean, no airstrike gets deployed, no rockets come shooting down or shooting out of the hole. It literally disappears as if you threw the airstrike into the ocean. Going into the next myth is, can you heal from a chug splash while you're in a baller? So not too long ago, we actually tested to see if you could throw a chug splash at a wall and if you could heal through it, and sadly you were unable to. So now since you're in a baller, maybe the glass is not as thick and hopefully you will somehow be able to heal. In game, when we did test this out though, sadly you are unable to heal with any chug splashes no matter what. If you throw it at the baller or even at the ground near you, you are unable to heal from a chug splash, which is it's a bummer. I find it kind of strange that you are able to heal from a campfire while you're inside of a baller, but sadly you are unable to heal from a chug splash. But I guess it kind of makes sense because you're in a vehicle, you're in a ball, and it literally just bounces off and all of the chug splash literally goes away from you. Going into the next myth is, what happens when you shoot a rocket from a quad launcher into Kevin the Cube? Now, a couple episodes back, we actually tested to see what happens when you shoot a rocket from a rocket launcher into Kevin the Cube, and the rocket, it literally bounced off, and you could do a lot of crazy stuff with this. So people are wondering, since airstrikes, the rockets don't bounce off or reflect off of the cube, will a Quad Crusher's rocket do the same as well? Sadly, in-game when I did test this out though, the rockets from the quad launcher, they did not deflect off of Kevin the Cube, unlike the rockets from a regular rocket launcher, which was pretty strange. I also tested it out in a previous episode to see if the airstrike rockets would deflect off Kevin the Cube, and it seems as if the quad launcher and the airstrike, they're using the exact same rockets because they explode on impact, and Kevin, it doesn't affect it in any way. Going into the next myth is, what happens when you throw a porta fort or even a porta fortress into the orb? Now, the orb right now, you literally cannot build anywhere near it because, of course, in a regular game, if you go somewhat near it, it'll automatically push you up into the air because of all of the wind or the air shooting out of the vault. It's totally just it pushes you away, to say the least. When I tried this myth out, I was of course in creative mode and I did a glitch to get back to the spawn island, and when I was at the spawn island, I threw down a porta fort and even a porta fortress into Kevin the orb, and both times when the porta fort or even the porta fortress were thrown at the orb directly, it'll automatically destroy because of course there's nothing for the floor to kind of build off of and have something to be stable on. Since the porta fortress is a massive structure, I decided to throw it at the base. I mean, like on the ground where all of the wind's coming out of, and if you throw it directly into the hole, it'll automatically break. But if you throw it just on the outsides where the floor kind of starts to move inwards, it'll actually build the porta fortress and it'll somehow glitch halfway through the orb, and the orb will go straight through the walls. I decided to go a little bit crazy on this one, and I kind of spammed porta fortresses all around the orb, and I was able to get it to disappear fully, just lag the server a little bit. Going into the next myth is, if you use a traversal emo on a blue or even a orange speed boost pad, will you move faster than if you were to walk regularly? To make this clear for everybody who does not know what a traversal emote is, it's basically one of those emotes where you could be dancing or doing an action and actually walk around in any way you want. Instead of sitting still and having a limit to a like a footstep or whatever, you are able to walk around as far and keep doing the emote for as long as you want. I tested this out with the blue and even the orange speed boost pad, and what was pretty interesting is that whenever I would do the emote and walk directly onto the orange speed boost pad, it'll push you forward and kind of launch you like regular, but on the blue one it will have no effect on you. You won't walk any faster than anything normal. I mean, it totally cuts out the entire effect on you. I overall thought this was pretty strange, and if you are doing maybe like a puzzle map or something and there's the blue speed boost pads and you need to somehow like walk into like a certain wall or something, maybe do the traversal emo, and it'll make your life a lot easier on that map. Going into the next myth is, what happens when a supply drop lands in the middle of pressure plant? Now, a lot of people have actually been requesting this myth, and it's very difficult to do, to get a supply drop to land in the middle of pressure plant, but luckily on Instagram a subscriber by the name of Kelly sent me a clip, and sadly it's a pretty bad FPS. I mean, it lags a little bit, but you could still see the same thing as if a supply drop were to land in pressure plant. In the clip, unfortunately, you are unable to open the supply drop, but when you do fly down to it and you hit any part of the balloon or even the drop, it'll automatically pop the balloon, so you don't have to do any damage with it, and you can't open the drop like how it was during the volcano or any of that sort of stuff. This is also the exact same thing that happens when a llama lands in the middle of pressure plant, because this actually did happen to me in a regular game, and I shot out the llama because of course you were unable to open it whenever you fly down there, and all of the loot was sitting at the bottom of pressure plant, but you are unable to pick any of it up, even if you have like open materials and open inventory slots, because I guess you can't pick up anything while you're gliding. It is actually a little bit frustrating when you know there's an entire llama full of loot sitting at the bottom of pressure plant, and you can't pick up any of the loot because you're flying. So I think Epic Games needs to work on this and hopefully fix this one day. Going into the next myth is, what happens when you throw a birthday present at a flying supply drone? Now, if you played Fortnite just about like 7 or 8 months ago, way back in Christmas time, there were presents that you would find on the ground, and you basically throw it down similar to like a porta fort, and a present will pop up, and it'll have loot in it for you. So since Fortnite, their second birthday is coming up, they have these presents that you can find in chests and such, and they're a legendary form, so if you throw it down, of course it'll have loot in it similar to around Christmas time. Now, what was interesting is when I actually did throw one of these birthday presents at a supply drone, the first one I threw it actually trapped the supply drone, and the birthday present was literally floating in mid-air. The supply drone was literally trapped in the middle of the present in between all of those walls, and if you like clip through it or you break a wall, replace it, you're literally able to like just sit inside of the present and break the supply drone with no one really shooting at you. Now, the only bummer thing about this is that all of the other times I threw a birthday present, I was never able to get it to literally float in mid-air. I mean, I don't know if it's because I was close to the roof or what, but every birthday present I threw after that at a flying supply drone, the birthday present walls and such, they broke instantly, and all of the loot was just kind of floating there for you to pick up, but no walls for you to stand on. Going into the next myth is, does the storm tracker sniper show storm flips? Now, this new sniper added into the game, it's actually pretty OP at endgames. I mean, you could easily predict exactly where the next storm is going to be using this sniper, and it does a pretty decent amount of damage if you do hit headshots. I mean, 80 to the body, like 160 or something crazy to the head. It's definitely a weapon you might want to consider holding in your inventory. In-game, when I tested this myth out, I of course had the storm tracker sniper in my inventory, and I threw down a storm flip to see somehow if it'll predict where the storm is, and sadly you can't really see where the storm flips are. I mean, it would be pretty cool if there would be like a circle in the middle of the radar that'll show maybe like a storm flip in the area, help you find like some sort of fights or even avoid it, but it's not really that high tech, I guess, and it just predicts where the next storm is gonna be. I mean, though, that would overall be a pretty awesome feature though, to see storm flips on this storm tracker sniper. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you do have a myth you would like me to test in the next or future episodes, make sure to go down in the comments down below right now and drop a comment of a unique myth for a pretty good chance to be featured. Also, don't forget to leave a like on today's video and subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you did make it this far in the video, drop a comment down below and say happy birthday to Fortnite so I know who all of the real ones are that made it this far. Anyways, I will see you guys next time.